when we're doing wills, when we write wills for our clients, we write what's called a self-authenticating will. And that means that the witnesses to the will, the people who are present when the testator signs the will, they sign the will. That's what witnesses do. When they're signing their witnessing, they sign a declaration under penalty of perjury that this is all true. We saw this happen and we were there and that person signed this will. The point is they've made a statement under penalty of perjury verifying their witnessing of the will. That's called an attestation clause. We saw it and we are declaring under penalty of perjury. And the point of that is that when a court takes evidence that's given by a witness's statement, that it has to be under penalty of perjury. Yeah, I mean, we all watch courtroom shows. We've seen that. And they always have the witness, do you solemnly swear to tell the truth? Da, 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 da. They have to do this under penalty of perjury. Otherwise, it's not something the court can consider as testimony. And somebody has got to say, this really happened. So we want to get that done right in the document, because we don't want to, 20 years later, have to bring those witnesses into court and make that statement. So it's very important to have that attestation clause at the bottom of the will. If it's a holographic will, what has to happen, we've had one or two cases. This doesn't come up very often, but we have had this where it's a holographic will, meaning, remember, if you watched our last episode, completely in the testator's handwriting. And usually when somebody writes a will like that, they don't put an attestation clause on there. They don't have witnesses. They don't bother with that. They're just sitting at home alone writing a will. So what we've had to do is have another person who is familiar with that decedent's handwriting and looks at it and is willing to, again, under penalty of perjury, say to the court, yes, that is written by that person. And again, we do that in writing. It's called a declaration. But somebody's got to actually authenticate that that is the person's will and that is their signature.
So what about in a case where it's not a holographic will? It has the two witnesses, but we don't have that attestation clause under penalty of perjury.
Like I said, I alluded to, we would have to go and find those witnesses and get them to actually submit some sort of attestation clause. I think that's part of why they have two witnesses, because then at least you have a shot of finding one of them. But I don't think I've ever actually had to do that. Or I think we had a case where we thought we might have to do that. And then there was another way that we went forward. But you just don't want to be in that situation, because you might not be able to find these witnesses. They don't always have their name typed below their signature. We always put the name typed below the signature, but it's not a requirement. And so then you're just going off the signature, which if you saw my signature, you can read my name. But a lot of clients, you can't read their name.
They'll never make it out.
Right.
And it could have been signed years ago. Right. Trying to track someone down years after the fact just gets harder and harder.
Right. So you definitely don't want to make that mistake. You really want that witnesses under penalty of perjury. Ideally, they print their name and they sign their name, or somebody prints their name. That's the best because it covers all the bases.
Thank you for joining us today for another episode of Absolute Trust Talk Live. If you enjoyed listening in, then don't forget to subscribe. You can find us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you may listen by searching Absolute Trust Talk. While you're there, we would also love for you to leave us a review. And then why not share your favorite episodes with family, friends, or colleagues too? You can find all of our shows and corresponding show notes by visiting absolutetrustcounsel.com. You'll also find a variety of other free resources, including our ebooks, videos, blogs, presentations, and more. If you need help with your estate planning or administration, we also offer a free discovery call to help get the process started. You can find more information on booking your session by visiting absolutetrustcounsel.com/scheduling. Don't forget to keep an eye out for our next live episode. If you join us for the broadcast, you can submit questions during the show. But if not, don't worry. You can always get in touch with us by sending a quick message to info@absolutetrustcounsel.com. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you soon.